This, we've all been here before. You've been here before, and I just wanted to make sure to give some update and a little look into some of the preparations that the city has for every single one of our storms, but especially for this first one. So we are really grateful, as always, to the incredibly hardworking teams that really are on call all throughout the night as our residents are safe at home, staying warm, and hopefully staying safe off the streets. Our vehicles and our drivers and our city teams are out there trying to prepare the streets, treat them before the snow comes down, clear it when it does come down, and then make sure that they're safe. We just did a walk through all the various places that vehicles are getting prepped right now. There's a lot of turnover and transformation that happens, and you'll hear a little bit more from Bill and the team about all the work that goes into making sure the same trucks that might be helping with trash pickup or other city services in the spring and summer come in, get outfitted with the salt spreaders, and then are ready to go. Everything gets the brakes, the lights, everything gets checked so that they're prepared for the storm, and then the teams are on hand all throughout the night in case issues pop up, just to be ready and keep all of our city drivers safe, as well as all of the rest of the community members out there. And so we are thankfully hoping that the projections stay where they have been trending, which is that the weather really will begin tomorrow evening into Sunday, and hopefully let up in time for it to be taken care of before Monday commutes and Monday starts to school. So nothing is quite predictable here in New England, but the timing of this so far, fingers crossed, does mean that it should have less of an impact on the normal rhythms of our weekday commutes and school pickups and drop-offs and all of that. It's still a whole lot of work for our teams, and they're going to be out there hour by hour making sure that the city is safe. So I'm just here to say a big thank you to everyone at the city who has been preparing for this for months, and then especially now as they're getting ready for our first real snowstorm this year, making sure that we are fully ready to be able to anticipate whatever might come up. So we have members of our team here representing all of the various facets of what goes into this, and the streets team, streets cabinet, public works, the fleet and vehicle maintenance team. So we're here for your questions on topic, and then if they're off topic, I'll do them off to the side.
About the streets, anything people should know about particular streets being closed or not, or just have to wait and see?
Anything about streets being closed or?
No, at this point, I mean, looking at... Yasher Franklin Hodge, Chief of Streets for the city. So at this point, looking at the forecasts, this has the potential to be a real storm for the city, but it does not look like it's going to be at the level of kind of accumulation, at least as currently forecasted, where we would be concerned about having to close down streets or do a sort of blizzard scale operation. So really the focus that we will have, there is a lot of uncertainty around timing in this forecast and when rain changes over to snow, what the mix of rain and snow will look like throughout the day. But with a storm like this, we're just going to have crews who are deployed and ready. We'll be able to scale up or down as the weather demands. Our goal will just be to keep on top of the storm as it is happening, to keep streets clear and passable. If there are moments of intense snow for late Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, there may be times when there's snow accumulating on the roadways, but we're always going to be there following quickly with a plow or a salt truck to make sure that we get that cleared away. In general, though, when there is weather like this, we ask that people use caution if they are going out, that they drive carefully. This is, even with a slushy storm, it can be slippery, and so we just want everybody to be safe as we go about our business of keeping the streets open.
Not declaring any kind of snow emergency?
Yeah, no, at this point it looks like this will just be typical parking rules, no snow emergency planned. So.
Good morning, everyone. Shumaine Benford, Chief of Emergency Management for the city. I just want to mention very briefly, echoing the mayor's comments as well as my colleagues from Public Works, the Emergency Operations Center from Emergency Management will be operational with enhanced monitoring. We're doing what we customarily do across the city with coordination. We work and have a very open and candid conversation beginning with Public Works, but all of our operational departments that are going to be deployed during the length of this storm to return the city to normalcy and also make it safe for our residents and guests to pass. So we're doing a tremendous amount of work at the city level in coordinating with city departments. We have open lines of communication with our state partners over at MEMA, as well as our nonprofit partners with the Salvation Army and American Red Cross, if in the unlikely instance other occurrences happen during the storm for which we have to respond to. So I think we're in a very good position with a host of very qualified team members ready to respond to the storm.
Daniel Need, Department of Public Works, Superintendent of Highway. As the mayor said, crews are getting ready, prepping vehicles, also attending to the day-to-day operations the Public Works takes care of, cleanliness, that type of thing. We'll be ready. We have the ability to scale up to 800 plus pieces should that need arise. Looking at the forecast as it is right now, we'll see how close we get to that. Seems to be trending in the right direction, but as with anything, we'll be ready to go come Sunday.
Any more numbers, Addis? I guess the number is you got as much as 800 pieces of equipment. Any other numbers to give us a perspective on what you got to tackle this one?
With 49,000 tons of salt on hand across several different yards. That's. Plenty of drivers. I've been speaking all week, which seems like the longest week. Speaking with all of our contracted partners, ready to go, raring to go. Their pieces are up. They're doing the same thing you see here, getting their equipment ready. We'll be ready to go. Not really. It is different snow, but it's not. It's the same thing. The hourly. The rate at which it falls, that can be an issue. Heaviest is going to be midnight to 6. It's looking right now, again, forecast change, but usually the snowfall rate is what we look at.
Question about the budget. I don't know which of you would maybe be able to answer, but in the past you've said that the budget is based on past years, like I think the past 5 years or so. And since we've had so many snowless winters recently, has that affected the budget?
The snow budget is sort of a unique thing in the city because it is so unpredictable and so variable year to year. So there's typically a placeholder number that's placed into the budget every year based on past winters. But at the end of the day, our budget office works very closely with our team to monitor what we're spending throughout the winter and to make sure that funds are available for whatever level of response is necessary. So the budget has never been and will not be a limiting factor in our ability to respond to whatever Mother Nature throws at us, and we will just work closely with the finance team to make sure that we have the resources we need.
Storm like this, has the city done anything in the last year, say, to mitigate
damage? There's a lot of I have learned way more about snow and storms than I ever expected to. And as Danny was saying, there's the rate of how fast the precipitation is coming down, when it changes from rain to snow, the exact timing of it as it lines up with tide cycles, the wind speeds, and therefore how many inches of surge we're likely to see during the storm. So it all kind of goes into a big set of models to predict that. We are not, as I understand, predicting that there will be significant storm surge in the timing of this and the rest of how all of that fits together. But we are prepared for anything. And as we've already seen in recent storms, any season of the year, this is more and more of an issue for Boston, needing to manage our coastline and ensure that we are prepared to meet the water and find ways to either absorb it, block it, or be responsive to how we can protect our residents who are living nearby and even further inland, because there are so many flood pathways that can open up and that are getting more and more vulnerable as the water warms and as the water levels rise. And so whether it's conversations about Morrissey Boulevard and the city now firmly being part of the state collaboration to ensure that we're moving forward with the redesign of that, a very key component of that is going to be that very vulnerable part of right near the coastline. How are we lifting that up and ensuring that the resiliency investment is there, so that homes all along the coast and more inland are protected. In many other places, we have reached out for federal funding, so the money that's going to Moakley Park, for example, is going to be a huge benefit for flood protection as well. And there are many other investments that the city is making or has secured state or federal funding to partner in making that are bringing improvements to the community, but always including those resiliency and storm protection measures as well.
I have a question about how Boston's unhoused population. What is the city doing to help people who don't have shelter as the storm hits? Are there any open shelters or warming centers?
Yes. So whenever 365 days a year, our goal is for no one to need to be living on the street and sleeping on the street. And so we have significantly expanded shelter capacity throughout recent years, and especially in recent months, in preparation for more capacity that is needed. And our the shelters that are run by the City of Boston, or by the Public Health Commission at the city level, and by our community partners, are in close coordination constantly to manage that capacity and to create overflow space where necessary. We are going to continue to work with our partners to ensure that everyone will have a place to go who needs it in cold weather and during storms. And the ask is that if anyone needs help, if you see someone who looks like they are in need of warmth and shelter, please, you could call in the middle of a storm, that becomes a public health emergency. So please call 911. If you're experiencing something that is not an emergency, for example, you're hoping that snow gets cleared from a certain part of the street, or so that's a 311 call. But when we do see people who are in need of services and vulnerable out in the storm, we ask folks, please reach out so we can get to them as quickly as possible with our outreach teams. Bill, do you want to add anything about the vehicles?
Good morning. My name is Bill Coughlin. I'm the Director of Central Fleet. My department's tasked with keeping the vehicles up and running. We started snow prep in late August, early September. We have 175 pieces that are ready to hit the road. We will be on call or stand by in the building throughout the storm for any highway needs on maintenance on any of the vehicles.
Good morning, Clarence Perkins, Assistant Superintendent for Highway Division. Just wanted to tell everyone, just be safe out here. And just clear the way for plows to come through in clay areas. Thank you.
Okay. Is that good for snow questions? Anything else? Okay. All right. We'll go off to the side for anything else. Thank you. Sure. Yeah. Estamos aquí en el lugar para los servicios municipales en preparaciones para un invierno. Es la primera de este año, y todos nuestros equipos sobre los vehículos, las preparaciones para residentes que necesitan viviendas y otros servicios, las escuelas y otras agencias, estamos juntos en preparación. La proyección es este evento es el día próximo, y es solamente en el fin de semana. Esperamos que la proyección, porque no tenemos unos o muchos impactos a trabajadores y todas las maneras de transportación, pero es importante para cada comunidad, cada miembro en esa comunidad mantiene su seguridad, y por favor participar con preparaciones y conectar con toda su familia y otros vecinos para las preparaciones también. Great, thank you.